Hi, my name's Phil Iverson. I'm an accountant here in Chicago. My area is small business accounting and tax work. My primary function is I prepare the financial statements, both the income statement and the balance sheet for small businesses, as well as I reconcile the various checking accounts. And then at year end, we do the tax work. Sometimes there's mid-year tax stuff, we handle that as well. This video is a little insight into how this works and a little bit about the pricing for a service like this. This type of service is used by small businesses that are not yet big enough to have their own in-house accountant. At a certain point, a small business needs an accountant to either come on a part-time basis or indeed a full-time person to handle all the functions. They start out with just the very basic receivables and payables. Then you've got the payroll, tend to that. And where things start to get a little sticky is with the financial statement preparation. Webster's Dictionary used to describe bookkeeping as an art. And I have been doing this for a very long time now, more than 2 decades. But it truly is. And I will give you a few tips about this that you may employ in your own office. Over time, the owners that I work for and I have gotten to be really friends. And I think that anyone who has an accountant, you should be able to pick the phone up and feel pretty cozy in the sense that you can talk to them and you understand. You guys understand each other. And sometimes, if but this is the best way, because especially an accountant, if you've got a question as to, we've got a little fly here. If you've got a question as to how to go about financing, or what cash flow projections are going to look like, or what a break-even analysis is, these types of things don't come up that often a lot of times, but they're very important when they do. As well, if you're thinking about buying another business or selling your business, you want to have an accountant that you feel comfortable with. And I know that sounds, it's perhaps very simple, but it's an important element. And I've been very fortunate. The fellows I work for, we all get along quite well. What I do on a monthly basis is they mail me either email or we use snail mail as well. Snail mail to this day works lovely. But they mail me a list of the checks that have been written for the month, and the cash disbursements journal or the check register, and they mail me a copy of the bank statement. And then from there, I have the passwords for the payroll. We use outside payroll service for all the companies I work for. What I do is I list all the checks in a separate copy of QuickBooks, and I then enter in with a journal entry the payroll information and the bank debits, because nowadays everyone uses various automatic bank debits For example, if you pay your utilities with an automatic bank debit, you don't see that in your cash, in your check register. You do see it directly on the bank statement. So I enter all the debits, the checks, and the payroll. Every company is a little different. I've been doing this a good long while, and there is, variance. Every owner is actually a little bit different, even though some things are the same. But some of the companies I work for have money market accounts, and they transfer monies in and out of those accounts as needed. As well, some of the business owners have multiple businesses, and I tend to all those businesses keeping the books separate, a separate QuickBooks account for each set of books. The function of the in-house bookkeeper, as I mentioned earlier, is primarily to tend to the very first thing is the receivables, because if you don't have proper accounting from your customers, there's no money to pay any payroll. So that's very important. And on occasion, one of the office managers, they'll ask me a question, how do we do this or that? One tip that I would suggest for some of you business owners and office managers as well, oftentimes a manual copy of an invoice is so handy to have. You can keep that file neatly away in QuickBooks, but to print an actual invoice and put it in a little vanilla file and file that away is so handy. As well, your bookkeeping should be backed up depending on the business. In theory, it should be done every day. Large businesses, they do it multiple times during the day. That is how interested they are in making sure their accounting records are safe. Because again, this is a list of who owes you what. And then those, on a certain level, even for a small business, those accounting records are kept in multiple locations. Now, if you're using QuickBooks Online, much of your accounting records indeed are stored on the cloud. But if you've got a desktop version, of QuickBooks, or for that matter, any other accounting program, stick that little zip drive in there periodically and update your records. One thing that I should mention, and this gets confused, when I keep the accounting records for the income statement, the balance sheet, and the reconciliation, I do not use the copy of QuickBooks that the office managers have used. And for this simple reason: if the owner and the manager and a bunch of other people are using a copy of QuickBooks, and then I come behind them once a month and do my little function of cleaning things up and printing out a financial statement for the owners, over and over and over again, if we were to leave this, everyone using the same copy of QuickBooks, it invariably gets mixed up. And if you're a business owner or you've been around this, you've certainly seen this yourself. So for the small bit of extra effort that I have to re-enter some of those checks from the register, it's by far much easier and faster for me to re-enter a few checks than it is to straighten out the master copy of QuickBooks, only to have the very same thing happen in the following month or the month after that, and it can be a big deal to sort out a copy of QuickBooks. There is a very good reason to have your accounting done for a small business on a monthly basis. It's very orderly. At year end, I give the owners a master of the income statement and balance sheet for the entire year, and the taxes are ready to go. Sometimes, in dealing with new owners, they have a tendency to do this all at once at the end of the year, and instead of a simple task, it's quite a big deal. Also, from a practical point of view, trying to remember what happened 11 months ago or 10 months ago, sometimes it's not that simple. So the trick is, do this on a monthly basis. That is just about it for this video. That's actually, I think, quite a bit of information. On pricing, for the clients that I have, $300 to $600 a month is sort of the average of what I charge my clients. All of them have employees with the payroll. I handle the sales tax return for a number of them as well. So it's all inclusive. It is a fixed fee, so that all the owners, they know every month the fee doesn't change. And if in a month they go over sort of the allotted, what our deal is, and as far as the number of transactions, we don't even mention it. If it gets to be a consistent thing, then of course I let them know, and we may adjust the price. But in general, there's very little confusion about pricing. Now, if by chance there's a very small business and they don't have many transactions, maybe we can do it for, let's say, $100 or $200 a month. As well, for a larger company that has more transactions but still wants to use an outside service, then we price out, in accordance with that. Again, my name is Phil Iverson. My contact information will follow this video, and if you are thinking of using an outside service or would like to discuss that, we sure look forward to talking with you. Anyway, I hope this has been of some use to the owners and managers. Thanks for watching.